Man, oh man, oh man. Woo! You guys ever been in situations? Anybody? I have. There have been some situations that I can't get out of. Pretty sure you guys have had situations you can't get out of as well. You know, every time I see the news, all they talk about is somebody shooting somebody, somebody killing somebody. It's a shame that the community can't come together to put a stop to the violence. My stepbrother's dad is in prison. He's in prison because of violence. My cousin's dad got shot and killed because of violence, because his game backfired. My dad died because of a liver disease. I suspect to believe he also died because of violence. He also died because of his past. His past came back to him. And on top of that, his mom died and his brother died. And when his mom and his brother died, I immediately knew that things were taking a toll on my dad. It really hurt him. It really hurt him to a point where he started drinking more and started smoking more. You know, it's ridiculous. You can't live a good life without seeing on the news that somebody is stabbing somebody or raping somebody. Without people on the news saying that there's a fugitive or there's a freaking rapist or serial killer on the loose. It's crazy. It's like you can't do nothing anymore without hearing something bad happening. Every time you do something good, something bad has to happen all the time. It's like, why? You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for people that are low on money. I understand what it's like to be low on money. I've been low on money before. I know what that's like. I get it. You spend money almost every week and then you end up getting low every week. I understand. There's a few times where I've spent money on stuff, on important stuff. I mean, you know, not petty stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas. We had a lot of doing AEW Tuesday afternoon news to go over. We're going to go over it all right here on the IWN YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm IWN. This is your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news live stream number 4. You're just now tuning in to join the live chat. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. Hit the thumbs up on the stream. Let's get a lot of likes, minimal. No excuses, no complaints. Follow me on Facebook. You can add me on Snapchat and Instagram. The links to all my Facebook and Instagram accounts are in the description below, as well as my Snapchat name. All you got to do is look at the description, and you'll see my Snapchat name down below. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's been supporting me and my channel. Thank you for the overwhelming support. Continue to do so in ways possible. Continue to do so in any way you can. Your support, your likes, your comments helps out the channel so much in ways you guys don't realize. I figured I'd get you guys covered on the WWE AEW Tuesday afternoon news. I figured I'd do a live stream, number 4. You know, there's not too many to go over. You know, the holidays, when the holidays are slow, when the winter season's here and the days are slow, you don't really typically get much WWE and AEW news. This time of the season now it's done went by fast. It's done went by very, very fast, man. It's not even funny. You know, we've had countless of people say, damn, this time go by fast. It's already 9 o'clock. It's already 8 o'clock or something. It's already 7 o'clock, you know. Well, time goes by fast now, man. It's winter season. That's how it is. That's how it was last year. You know, I got a lot of content planned for this week, guys. My YouTube schedule is posted on the community page if you guys haven't seen it yet. Going to be streaming a lot of games this week on the channel. I'm going to be streaming some new games as well. Tomorrow, after the NXT review, as I told you guys, as you've seen on the screen, I did say after the NXT review tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be streaming Legendary Warriors G of Battle G. Legendary Warriors Battle G. That's what we're going to be streaming. Going to be streaming that. That's a new game. That's one of the new games I downloaded on the Chromebook. I'm going to be streaming. And we're going to be streaming another new Dragon Ball game this Sunday. We're going to be streaming Star Wars Racer this Sunday as well. After that, I got a lot of games that I'm going to be streaming. A lot of new games that I'm going to be streaming. And they're mostly Dragon Ball games. I'm going to be announcing some new games for the PS4 that I'm going to be buying next year. I'm buying 2 starting next month. One of them is the game with the Godzilla DLC that has Godzilla, Destroyer, and Space Godzilla in the game. And the other one is more than likely going to be a racing game. I'm either thinking about getting Hot Wheels, Gran Turismo 8, or something else. There was something else. There was another game I wanted to get. So I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to start back streaming games again starting tomorrow. So I'm back to doing that. And I have a lot going on. Next month, Wrestle Kingdom 17 is supposed to be taking place. You got NXT New Year's Evil happening next week. And yeah, next week is going to be a new week full of professional wrestling. In the year of 2023. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, man. Really is. My New Year's watch along. My New Year's Day watch along is going to be live after I stream Star Wars Racer Sunday. This Sunday coming up. And we're going to celebrate New Year's together. It's going to be like a hangout, chilling watch along, you know. Hoping my audience can make it to the live chat. I'm hoping my buddy Cam, my homie Cam, can make it too. He's one of my best YouTube subscribers. And if anybody wants to be moderator, man, let me know. As long as you're here from my Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, and Rampage reviews, you have to be the moderator. You have to be a moderator for all of my streams. You have to be here for all my streams. You're going to be a moderator. You have to be here for my Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and AEW Rampage reviews every week, and Dynamite reviews as well. If you want to be a moderator for my game streams, let me know. All you got to do is tell me, and I'll add you as moderator. And you can just ask me, when are you going to be streaming games? I can moderate the chat for that, and I'll tell you. The schedule's going to be automatically up there. I already got a schedule for next week planned in my head. I'm going to post it on the I'm going to post it on my YouTube community page this Saturday. So be prepared for that. My YouTube content creator schedule is going to be different next week. Also, Friday, as you guys know, Friday I'll be live for my Friday Night SmackDown AEW Rampage watch along. Before that, we're going to stream Xenoverse 2. I'm going to stream that new DLC that I want you guys to see. That DLC with Gamma 1 and 2 and Gohan. Yes, I'm going to be streaming that. We're going to be doing the story mode. We're going to be doing the we're going to do the online paraquests that came from that pack. Yes, I bought both pack sets. Dragon Ball Super Heroes pack 1 and 2. I bought both of them. If you guys have any questions about what content I'm streaming this week or next week, let me know. And once I get to 600 subscribers, I want you guys to tell me what game you want to see me stream. What game you want to see me stream that you haven't seen me stream before. Okay? I think we have that clear. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into all the WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news that I have for you from yesterday and Sunday. First of all, first things first, we're going to go ahead and start with the news on the ex-WWE executive. So, the ex-WWE executive happens to be Mansberry. So he recalls creating anti-WWE product under Vince McMahon. Let me find that real quick for you guys. I should have had it pulled up before the stream started, but you know how I am sometimes. Sometimes I'm late for the shows, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I go live late, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm early, you know. It's typical for YouTube content, for young, upcoming YouTube content creators like me. You know, it's typical. New Year's is coming up, man. What do you guys have planned for New Year's? While you guys wait on me, pull this up on the screen, trying to find it. My head is not thinking today. My head is nowhere today. Just so you know. I mean, at 12 something, I ended up falling asleep. The stream was originally supposed to go live at 12:30. I had it planned to go live at 12:30 p.m., but I ended up falling asleep. And then that call from my grandma woke me up. Okay, where is it? I'm trying to find it. If I could, where is it? Okay, there it is. There it is. All right, here we go, guys. So apparently, ex-WWE executive recalls creating anti-WWE product under Vince McMahon. Now, the only person I could think of, the only WWE ex-executive I can think of that left WWE is Michael Mansberry. For many years, Vince McMahon presided as WWE's chairman and had the last say in all decisions made within the organization. He was not without controversy. Since many people have the option, they also have the opinion that he is a nasty person due to his dubious, or should I say devious conduct recently. Now, a former WWE vice president recalled working with Vince McMahon. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm losing my voice, I know. Michael Mansberry, a former WWE vice president of global television production, discussed developing an anti-WWE product under the chairman of WWE, the CEO, Vince McMahon, former chairman, CEO, Vince McMahon. So again, Michael Mansberry, a former WWE vice president of global television production, discussed developing an anti-WWE product under the Vince McMahon administration. From 2009 to 2020, Mansberry worked for WWE while Vince McMahon was still the organization's CEO. Many people in the organization throughout his tenure there thought he'd eventually replace Kevin Dunn. Now, Mansberry reflected on his time spent working on the NXT brand during an interview with Renee for the sessions. So, Renee Young reviewed Michael Mansberry on the Sessions podcast, and he also discussed the anti-WWE product developed under the Vince McMahon management. I had to turn off my camera again because I had to charge my phone. Sorry for that. It says here, and I quote, that to this day, probably the most magical in my career, Mansberry said about his time working on NXT. As easy as it sounds, to use a word, you, Renee Young, were there. You were a part of it, you know. And then he goes on to say it was a combination of just good old-fashioned sports entertainment from the late 80s, where we recreate all these characters. He also says, also leaning into what wrestling had become in the early 2010s. And then he goes on to say, you're hearing all the buzz about Ring of Honor, PWG, all these wrestling promotions have, right? And in essence, a lot of the very best of the best from the indie scene found themselves at NXT. But a nice litany of folks had converted over from being, you know, guys like Baron Corbin who were in the NFL. So there was this nice collection of talent down there, and there was a collection of talent behind the scenes that were all hungry and looking to establish themselves. And I don't know that anything in my career is gonna replicate what those first few years of NXT were like, because it really was just an unbelievable special moment, and it just felt like a movement. You know what I mean? He questioned that, end quote. So that's all Michael Mansberry said. That was from him. So it should be noted that the former WWE chairman was forced into retirement when a hush money scandal was made public. First of all, Vince McMahon is evil, number one. Number two, Vince McMahon's a fucking sicko. And number three, he is a 77-year-old, senile, demented old fuck who paid hush money to several female talents for sex. He was forced to step down, not only because of the hush money scandal, but because of allegations as well. Vince McMahon was accused of sexual assault, among other things. And that public controversy only continues to this day. It only continues to get worse. It only continues to pile up for Vince McMahon. Don't be surprised if Vince McMahon ends up in the same jail as Donald Trump. Really. Vince McMahon also wants to return to WWE, but many people are against it. A lot of people are against it, and a lot of people, including myself. Nobody gives a fuck about Vince McMahon. Nobody wants Vince McMahon back in WWE. Vince McMahon and Bruce, their administration, ruined WWE. Look at all the 200 plus talent they released, for an example. Think about it this way too. They released Keith Lee, Bray Wyatt, Ember Moon, and Bronson Reed, all because they were overweight. Vince McMahon and Bruce basically said, you're overweight, you're fat, and we don't want fat people there. And they just let them go. They let them go like they were complete trash, like they were complete dog shit to them. It wasn't right, man. It's really not right. It's not right. You can't let somebody go just based on their fucking weight. You can't let somebody go just based off of, you know, their personality and shit. See, that's why I'm glad Triple H is in charge. See, Triple H, you know what? That nobody saw. Triple H seen a lot in Bray Wyatt that nobody saw. Triple H seen a lot in Keith Lee that nobody saw. Keith Lee, Isaiah Swerve Scott, declined to return to WWE because of Vince and Bruce and how they used them on TV and how they were both on TV, man. Vince and Bruce and their administration releasing 200 plus talent should let you know right there that Vince and Bruce doesn't give a fuck about wrestling. They don't give a fuck about men's wrestling, and neither do they give a fuck about men's wrestling. They don't. They don't care. They really don't. They don't even give a fuck about, they don't give a fuck about young talent in general. They don't. Really. They really don't, man. And it's freaking sad. If you ask me, it really is. It really is. It's a darn shame. I don't know what's going on with my webcam, man. It hasn't been acting like this. My webcam was doing good up until this point. I apologize for the inconvenience, guys. My webcam, there's something going on with it. I'm gonna have to save up money to buy a new one. There's something very, very wrong with it. As I was saying, guys, Vince and Bruce, they don't give a fuck about WWE. They only give a fuck about themselves, the money, the power, and most importantly, their stupid political agendas. That's all they cared about. They didn't care about the young talent being wasted, treated like complete dog shit. They didn't care about the talent not in their push. None of that. None of that. And you wonder why Vince McMahon retired. Because evil came back to hunt him for eternity. The hush money scandals, to allegations, to more allegations. I'm glad Vince McMahon's retired. I'm happy. Yes. Nobody wants Vince McMahon there. Not even the higher-ups. Not even the talent that got released from WWE by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. Don't want him there. Triple H doesn't even want his own stepdad back. I know that for a fact, man. And I know that Stephanie McMahon doesn't want her dad back in WWE as chairman. Nobody wants Vince McMahon there. Keep him as far away from WWE as you can. That's all I got to say to that. Oh, Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon The man said he had plans to return to WWE. No, not happening. Oh, also, I'm pretty sure I said this last week. Vince McMahon cost WWE a lot of fucking money. Yes, he did. That's another reason why the higher-ups don't want him back. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It really is. It really is, man. It's fucking ridiculous. Fans even started a petition 2-3 weeks ago. Fans started a petition online in order to stop Vince McMahon from returning to WWE. That is how terrible Vince McMahon was at his job as chairman. Vince McMahon, Bruce, and administration, their booking, writing, and producing was absolutely terrible, man. Absolutely ruined the product, man. If Vince McMahon were to return to WWE as chairman, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and NXT would be dead faster than you can blink. All the pay-per-views would be dead faster than a cheetah can run. All the talent that Vince and Bruce released before, they'll be back released again. Do you guys honestly want that? I'm pretty sure it's half of you. I'm pretty sure most of you would say no. I don't. I don't, man. That's why I'm glad Vince is gone. I'm glad Triple H is taking over WWE. Triple H has made a lot of changes to NXT. Or not NXT, but to Raw and SmackDown. He's getting ready to make changes to NXT. I see it. I'm starting to see a little bit of changes to NXT. Hopefully we'll start to see more soon. But he made a lot of changes to Raw and SmackDown. He brought back former WWE superstars like Top Dollar, Ashanti Adonis, B-Fab. They're known as Top Dollar. Or they're known as Hit Row. Hit Row. Hit Row! Triple H brought back Hit Row. He brought back talents like Karrion Kross, Scarlett. They're both a couple, by the way. Married. He brought back Braun Strowman. I don't know why. I don't know why WWE needs Braun Strowman. WWE does not even need Braun Strowman. Why is he there? Get him out. Get him out. Get Omos out while you at it. WWE doesn't need Omos. The fuck is he doing still there? Get him out. They brought back Bray Wyatt. Talents like Candice LeRae, Mia Yim. I find it funny how I'm mentioning Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, because I don't know if you guys remember. Xia Li and Lacey Evans were given vignettes, but yet Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, Emma, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky weren't. How the fuck are you going to give Xia Li and Lacey Evans vignettes and not give Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, Emma, and Chelsea Green vignettes? You're supposed to give talent, you're supposed to give talent vignettes first and then have them establish themselves to the audience and then have them debut. Not the opposite, not have them debut without a fucking vignette, without having them establish themselves to the talent. That's fucking dumb as shit, man. Really. Really is. That is very, very dumb. You don't do that. You don't do that. You know how embarrassing? You know how embarrassing they would be? I would bet they were very embarrassed. Not giving vignettes, man. My God. Just based on that alone, I feel bad for Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, and Emma. Because they weren't given vignettes. They weren't established to the talent, to the crowd. Their debuts didn't go right. It's fucked up, man. It really is. Goes to show you how blindly dumb WWE is sometimes. Sometimes they do stuff right, and then they have this thing where sometimes they do stuff wrong. It's always like that. Why can't they do stuff right? Why can't they make sure that the shows are produced and written correctly every week? Why can't they make sure they have a solid men's and women's roster? Why can't they make sure the pay-per-views are booked? Why can't they make sure? Why can't they make sure that the pay-per-views are written and produced right? Fix the SmackDown women's roster. The SmackDown women's division is garbage. It's so bad that the Monday Night Raw and AEW women's division is doing way better than the SmackDown women's division right now. I can honestly say that at this point. And SmackDown's my favorite brand. Yet we got a shitty-ass fucking SmackDown women's division. And then you wonder why the SmackDown women's division is at an all-time low. I mean, look at the talents we got on there. We got Ronda Rousey. Nobody needs Ronda Rousey on the SmackDown women's division. Get her out. Get rid of her. Have her drop that title to somebody and get her off of TV. I do not want to ever see her on TV again. She is one of the worst SmackDown women's champions of all time. The worst. They need to hurry up and have her drop that title to somebody so they can get her off of TV. I'm tired of seeing her on TV. I'm tired of seeing Brock Lesnar on TV too. I'm tired of seeing Lacey Evans on my TV. Get rid of her. Seriously. You know who I'm tired of seeing? You know who else I'm tired of seeing, man? Goldberg. I'm tired of seeing news about Goldberg. Get him out. Get him out. WWE doesn't need Goldberg. They talking about some WWE has a few matches on his contract. Fuck Bill Goldberg, man. Seriously. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. For real. And if you care, and if you do want Goldberg back, if you are one of the people that are in it for Goldberg and want Goldberg to come back, you got to be a complete idiot. You got to be a complete idiot to think so. Really. Really. I'm saying it in a positive way. I'm saying it in the positive way possible. I'm saying it in a good way possible, man. I'm not trying to say it in a negative way. Goldberg will bring WWE down in a hurry, faster than a cheetah can run. Nobody wants him there. Nobody. You got talent. You don't need old talent. I even said this ever since Vince and Bruce took over WWE. When Vince and Bruce took over WWE, I stopped reviewing NXT and Raw because I knew the shows were going to be fucking complete garbage with them running the company. And you're not going to believe this. You guys are going to be shocked when I tell you this. But Bruce Pritchard is still there. Why hasn't he not got fired? Why? Kevin Dunn is still there too. Get them both out. Get them out. Like, really. Get rid of Bruce Pritchard and get rid of Kevin Dunn. If Triple H and his administration can get rid of Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn, they will be fine. Everybody that hates Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn will be happy. I mean, we know everybody hates Vince McMahon. I mean, just based on the freaking hush scandals and fucking allegations we've seen. I mean, Vince McMahon is a sicko. He's a psychopath, man. He's perverted, dude. Man, what a complete version Vince McMahon is, man. But anyways, guys, one thing's for certain. The talent is clearly happy under Triple H. That is what matters. And I'm glad. I'm happy for them as well. The game has received praise for changing fan perception of the product. Rightfully so. Triple H is doing a hell of a damn good job, man. Doing what Vince McMahon and Bruce should have done when they took over WWE. They never did it, though, did they? No, they did not. And that's what fucking angers me till this day. Why would they even have Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard take over WWE? They shouldn't even be near WWE at this point. Vince McMahon's he's retired. Bruce Prichard should be actively fired from WWE. He should have already been fired, if anything. Why is he still there? And who's to say that Vince McMahon is still running WWE in the shadows? You never know. He still could be. But anyways, guys, it remains to be seen if Vince McMahon will make a comeback, says Ringside News. No, he's not. Sorry. He'll be making a comeback going to that prison cell. That's exactly where the fuck he's going. Anyways, guys, we're going to move on to the next WWE Tuesday afternoon news. This one is on an ex-WWE writer. Now, this particular ex-WWE writer reveals how difficult it was speaking to Vince McMahon. I imagine it was very fucking difficult for him to speak to Vince McMahon. I imagine that Vince McMahon was a hard-headed listener. In other words, he was a non-listener. He don't listen to nobody. Vince McMahon's a nobody, basically. Give me some time, guys. I'm trying to find it. Trying to find that news article, that piece, that news article that I had got. There it is. I think. Is this it? No. Never mind. I didn't find it. It's not on there. Where is it? I thought I just saw it on there. I thought I just saw it on there, man. Damn, where is it? 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 Come on. Nope. Must be on the other page because I can't find it. I can't find it nowhere. It's weird. It's weird that stuff is disappearing on this page, man. It's like, why? Why is there stuff disappearing on this page all of a sudden? You know what I mean? I really don't understand. I really don't understand it, man. There it is, guys. Okay, so the WWE ex-writer, he reveals how difficult it was speaking to Vince McMahon. Now, Vince McMahon is a billionaire. Oh, there it is. Vince McMahon is a billionaire and has lived a life very different from most, in more ways than one. In fact, there have been many crazy stories about him over the years, most of which end up being true. WWE writers had a hard time pitching ideas to McMahon, as he would reject them at any given time. In fact, Jimmy Jacobs explained how difficult it was to talk to Vince McMahon. Jimmy Jacobs signed with WWE in 2015 as a writer. He was a few years later. After taking a photo with members of the Bullet Club during their invasion for Being the Elite. While speaking on ad-free shows, Jacobs was asked about the hardest part of being a writer in WWE. Jacobs then detailed how difficult it was to talk to Vince McMahon. It says here, and I quote, "Navigating Vince McMahon was the hardest part for sure. It's difficult. There is a certain way you have to talk to Vince McMahon, or what you say doesn't matter. That's difficult. There is a certain way you have to look for Vince to take you seriously. It's all those things that I didn't line up." And then he goes on to say, you have to keep it brief, but you have to explain sure. But you have to be brief because he'll stop paying attention or you'll lose him quickly. There is a certain art to it, sir, based on what you were saying last week about trying to get more heat on our heels. I was wondering if, right off the bat, I'm attributing the idea to Vince McMahon. And then he goes on to say, I'm saying, I bring to you, and based off what you said, I was wondering, I'm not saying, this is you. Ed Koski, he used to say, he says, this is what we should do. Ed Koski used to say, I'm almost thinking. I used to laugh. You're almost thinking. And then he goes on to say in a last full long paragraph, it would be too aggressive to actually think it. You have to almost think it. You have to paint the picture for it, do it consistently. If you start using pronouns, you'll get lost. That's one of the big things with Vince. Fair enough. We're talking about two different he's when you say, hey, it can get confusing. If you don't do it well, it's difficult to get Vince to take your ideas seriously. I remember pitching something to him one time, talking about Roman Reigns coming out of here. And what about this? He looks at me. I give him my pitch. He turns to Ed and whispers something in Ed's ear, and we move on. I have no idea what happened. I get a message from Dave about an hour later. Vince thinks you dress too gimmicky. You should probably change your tie, end quote. Vince McMahon even to fire a writer for entering his office without knocking, and also appeared during Friday Night SmackDown last week. We'll have to see if Vince McMahon will end up returning to WWE in a big role, which he will not. And I explained why already. I'm not repeating it again. So Rey Mysterio called the cops on Dominik Mysterio and has him arrested. No, this is not real. This is K5. Don't listen to all the negative WWE, AEW shields in the community. They'll tell you the wrong shit. Meanwhile, I'll tell you the right shit. This is K5. Dominik Mysterio and Rhea Ripley showed up at Rey Mysterio's house on Thanksgiving and caused lots of mayhem. The duo was added again on Christmas Eve, and the tables were turned this time. In the latest video posted by WWE to their social media accounts, YouTube channel, they posted on their social media accounts, YouTube channel, that Dominik and Rhea showed up at Rey Mysterio's house, Rey Mysterio's parents' house, to celebrate Christmas. While entering the door, Rey confronts Dominik, tells him to leave the house immediately. Rey's wife slapped Rhea Ripley in the face, which led to Ripley pleading for them to arrest Rey's wife. So Dominik refused to leave, and he and Rey took their issues outside. Then the police showed up minutes later. Dominik was placed in handcuffs and put into the back of a police car. And pleaded with Rhea Ripley to bail him out and to call Finn Balor and Damian Priest. This freaking webcam is getting on my nerves, guys. Before pulling out, Dominik told Ripley that he won't survive in jail and begged for the police not to let the police take them. Ripley had a breakdown in the middle of the road while crying for Dominik. The ongoing feud between Rey and Dominik continues to be intriguing on social media, has fans talking. It's a matter of time before the Mysterios face off in the square circle, possibly at WrestleMania. It's going to happen. They're going to book Rey Mysterio versus. That's going to be another match booked for WrestleMania 39. It's going to be good. Rey Mysterio's son is really good. He has some good in-ring skills. Pretty sure Rey Mysterio taught his son well, because Rey Mysterio happens to be the one that trained Dominik Mysterio before Dominik Mysterio's WWE in-ring debut. It's becoming a good storyline between the father and son so far. I really like it. I don't see nothing wrong with it at all. I see this as establishing Dominik Mysterio as the next star in WWE. That's the way I see it. John Cena will make another appearance on SmackDown. There's some news on the SmackDown tickets. So the SmackDown tickets essentially sold out for John Cena's return. Keeping an outstanding streak in WWE, considering John Cena's participation, has already resulted in a sizable increase in ticket sales. WWE intends to make the most of him. John Cena's return episode of SmackDown is scheduled to take place on Friday, December 30th at 7:45 p.m. The venue is set at Amalie Arena. It's set at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. According to WrestleTix, only 294 tickets are available for sale right now. So the show is a virtual sellout. WWE has essentially sold out the show, as the only remaining tickets besides resale are the expensive official platinum seats. I'm gonna read this to you guys again. WWE essentially sold out the show, as the only remaining tickets besides resale are the expensive official platinum seats. When it's all said and done, John Cena will have helped move 5,000 tickets for the show. So we're essentially getting Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus John Cena and Kevin Owens. That is going to be one of the greatest SmackDown matches of all time. Easily greatest tag team match of all time, man. So we're getting that match, and we're getting Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez. I don't understand why they didn't just say this match for the Royal Rumble. I talked about this last week. Why the fuck would they book Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Royal Rumble and then have it booked for SmackDown, when you should have saved it for the fucking Royal Rumble? It makes no sense. This is what I'm talking about. This is what pisses me off. WWE does stuff that makes no sense creatively. It's ridiculous. How are you just gonna have it booked for the Royal Rumble and then add Raquel Rodriguez to the 6 women eliminator match, only to have her win, and then have Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez booked for this week's episode of SmackDown, when the match could be saved for the 2023 Royal Rumble? I'm just speaking facts here, man. I'm telling it like it is. Save it for the Rumble. We don't need to see the match on SmackDown this week for the Rumble. They've already messed up this feud, man. Just based on how they booked this match, they already done messed up the feud. Already. We got Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa, and the return of Lacey Evans. The return of a nobody, somebody nobody cares about. Lacey Evans is not good in the ring at all. Please. It would be wise if you keep her off the television. What's y'all's take on this story? Let me know. That's the card for this week's episode of SmackDown. Now, there's normally not news on MADUSA. It's been a while since I haven't seen news on Medusa. There's news on her. So Medusa slams WWE over double standards after Mandy Rose's WWE firing. Mandy Rose had a solid run in NXT, where she was the NXT Women's Champion for 413 days, becoming a big deal in the brand. Unfortunately, that has become irrelevant as Rose was fired by WWE last week. The circumstances surrounding her WWE release continue to be a huge topic of discussion even now. With that being said, a lot of people called out WWE for firing Mandy Rose. Now it seems even Medusa decided to slam the company. Mandy Rose was released from her WWE contract due to content she posted behind her premium content paywall. It was reported that Mandy Rose was not even given a chance to take down her premium content before her WWE release. That's what Ringside News says. Fans called out WWE for firing Rose for such a thing, while they did not release Matt Riddle for consistently violating their wellness policy, among other things. I mean, I'm just saying. They didn't even suspend or release Jey Uso for his DUI charges. You know, how can you fire Mandy Rose when you haven't even suspended Matt Riddle for his failed wellness policy and haven't even suspended Jey and Jimmy Uso for their DWI charges? I don't understand. Medusa called out for double standards when it comes to Rose fire. She noted how men would get warnings and not get fired. I mean, I'm all in it for her. She's standing up to that. I don't blame her for saying what she said. This is what she said, and I quote. I clearly read it before I went live. It says here, and I quote, "I think there are things that still need to be changed. If it was a double standard, if there was no warning for her, guys get warnings in this business, and they're still employed there, which is unfortunate." End quote. Even Kevin Nash had an issue with the way WWE released Mandy Rose. WWE also isn't really closing the door on Mandy Rose's return to the company in the future just yet. Mandy Rose will have no trouble finding other opportunities in pro wrestling. So I have to wait to see what the future holds for Mandy Rose. What is your take on Mandy Rose's WWE firing? Let me know in the live chats, please. I really appreciate it. Especially if you're a WWE and AEW fan. All right. Your next WWE Tuesday afternoon news we have is on the Royal Rumble. So, apparently, this is what I got from my sources, Ringside News. They're my only wrestling sources in the community. The Royal Rumble pay-per-view tickets are on the verge of being a sellout. The only question is, will they be sold out by next month? My answer is yes. Now, WWE will hold their annual Royal Rumble in San Antonio's Stadium, on January 28th. The show is always, well, I wouldn't say always, but the show is already a hit among fans by the looks of it, as it will be breaking a huge record next year. So it comes as to no surprise that the upcoming premium live event is on track to be a sellout, as tickets are selling like hotcakes. The Royal Rumble Premium Live event next year will be the first annual pay-per-view under the Triple H regime after he became the head of WWE Creative earlier this year. Naturally, fans are very excited about it already. Do you blame them? I know I am. Even JD expressed on his podcast that he was excited about the Royal Rumble. You don't think I seen his OTS extra the other day? According to WrestleTix, the Royal Rumble Premium Live event has sold 33,766 tickets out of total of 36,132 tickets. Damn! Holy shit, that's a lot. For the time being, the event has 2,366 tickets left to be sold. They have around 6.5% of available tickets left for the show. Therefore, the event is on its way to being a sellout very soon, with over a month still left. Wow. They'll be sold out by next month. Guarantee you they'll be sold out by next month. And if we ever get the news on the Royal Rumble ticket sales being sold out next month, then I'll be like, hey, I told you so. I was right. Watch me be right, guys, next month. Watch. Watch. I'm telling you, I'm going to be right again. Watch. The Royal Rumble event next year will be one of the biggest events in many years. As the hype towards the Premium Live event builds up each and every week, with the event likely to have a lot of surprise returns, it remains to be seen whether it will become a huge success with fans. Well, SmackDown and Rampage last week weren't huge successes. They were more like a complete Christmas disappointment. Rampage and SmackDown, both shows were fucking terrible last week. Raw and Dynamite easily wins over NXT, SmackDown, and Rampage. Raw and Dynamite were the better shows last week, man. That is my thoughts on which show were the better shows last week. In case you were wondering, in case you wanted to ask. Now, are you guys excited about the Royal Rumble? Let me know in the live chats, please. I want to know from each and every single one of you that are wrestling fans, that are AEW fans. I want to know your opinions and your thoughts on the 2023 Royal Rumble. And who you think is going to come out of that men's and women's Royal Rumble as winners. Now, there's some little bit of news on Conan. Apparently, Dominic Mysterio and Aaliyah Mysterio are willing to donate their kidneys to Conan. Conan is a pro wrestling legend due to his contributions. Why would they add Aaliyah Mysterio's name and then say kidneys? Doesn't sound right. Aaliyah's not a man. She's a woman. The heck? I don't know, man. It made it sound like the way they put Aaliyah Mysterio, it made it sound like Ringside News are trying to picture her as a man or something. It just doesn't see. It didn't sound right to me. Doesn't sound right. Conan is a pro wrestling legend due to his contributions to the industry, as he has competed in numerous promotions such as WCW, Impact, MLW, and AAAA. And guys, Aaliyah Mysterio is not a man; she's a woman. To Ringside News, Aaliyah Mysterio is not a man; she's a woman. She's a female, for fuck's sakes. Just thought I'd tell you. I think Ringside News got confused because, you know, Aaliyah and Dominic Mysterio are twin brothers and sisters. His health is not the best right now, and this continues to worry fans. My voice, I'm losing my voice, man. That's not good. Now, it seems Dominic and Aaliyah Mysterio are willing to donate their kidneys to Conan. As fans know by now, Conan has been dealing with kidney problems for a long time. In fact, his health issues got progressively worse to the point that Conan needs a kidney donor to treat his problems. As previously reported, Conan has already started dialysis for his kidney problems. While speaking on the latest Keeping It 100 with Conan podcast, Conan talked about his ongoing health issues. Conan revealed that Dominic and MYSTERIO are willing to donate their kidneys to Conan. Says here, and I quote, "I was in a terrible shape," says Conan. He goes on to say, "This is the worst year that I've ever been in. This was a great year for me professionally. But health-wise, it was the worst year of my life. There were 2 times this year where I honestly thought, just being very honest, and I don't really talk too much about myself, that I was going to end the year alive." Well, he's not the only one. I don't be talking to people too much about myself either. I mean, I can understand that. I was very weak, very weak, very, very weak, really bad shape, despondent, sad, skinny. Then he says that he lost 70 pounds and just in really bad shape. And then he continues to say, Conan does, he continues to say, "I'll tell you what saved me, bro. It's the fucking dialysis. I didn't want to do it. This is my second kidney replacement. A lot of people think, oh, steroids. Well, if it's steroids, why don't more people have kidney problems? What actually happened is, I was in a dream match, and a ladder came all the way from the top, and I was looking the other way. Then Conan goes on to say it landed, and it effing broke my kidney. And I didn't even know it, because I just thought it was normal pain. Not too long ago, I did an angle, and AEW guys. Then Conan goes on to say they gave me this pile driver, and I never had time to go because I got there late. We were second on. The next thing you know, we were in the trailer and we were going to the offing ring. So they never really showed me how to do the pile driver. So it's like this weird, different pile driver I'd never taken. And when I hit, I went holy shit, I felt that. Then for months and months, I was having problems with my back, with my traps, with my ribs. And I just thought it was a pinched nerve. And then Conan goes on to say, when I finally went to the offing doctor, they were like, no, you have a dislocated shoulder and a cracked rib. Bro, that hurt like a motherfucker. Same thing with the kidney. When I burst it, when it burst or whatever, I didn't go to the hospital because, Mr. Macho here. Then finally, when I had kidney problems, they were like, bro, your kidneys are so dehydrated. We don't even know what to tell you. The first time I went to get dialysis was one of the worst experiences of my life, says Conan. He goes on to say, there's no way I'll ever do this shit again. Then not too long ago, I was really in bad shape, and the doctor said, in 1 month, your internal organs are going to start shutting down. So it's up to you. Do you want to do dialysis or not? I was like, he was like, Conan said, fuck. And then he said, I started it. It's been incredible. It's been an incredible experience. They cleaned your blood. They didn't have iron. That's why I was so effing weak. They put iron into your body. Ugh. Oh, God. And then he says they put perophysis or whatever and all the other elements that your body isn't producing, or should I say producing. So he says they put all the other elements that your body isn't producing or filtering anymore. The dialysis machine does it for you. It's an ongoing thing to get a fucking kidney donor. I actually have people from the show, and believe it or not, bro, This is beautiful. Do you know who offered me their kidney? Dominic and Aaliyah, both. End quote. That was all. What I just read was all from Conan on his Keep It 100 podcast. That's what he said. Even fans previously offered to donate their kidneys to Conan. Hopefully, Conan will be able to get help he needs, because I'm pretty sure he desperately needs the help right now, especially when it comes to him getting a kidney donation. Ringside News will keep me up to date on his ongoing condition. When I get some updates on his ongoing condition, you know you guys are going to hear me give out that news again on Conan. Now, Mandy Rose reacted to Perez's comments about her NXT Women's title run. Roxanne Perez is probably having the best time of her life, realizing a lifelong dream of becoming a world champion in WWE, even after winning the NXT Women's title from the dominant Mandy Rose. She had nothing but respect for her. Mandy decided to react to the new champion's comments regarding her. Mandy Rose had a great career resurgence after returning to NXT in 2021, not 2011, and winning the NXT Women's title, NXT Halloween Havoc in 2020. She remained champion for 413 days until she lost the title to Roxanne Perez on the December the 13th edition of NXT, the winner of the Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline. The 21-year-old superstar is ready to kick off her title reign, hoping to follow in the footsteps of great champions like Mandy Rose herself. Rose reacted to Roxanne Perez's highly appreciative words on Twitter, showing mutual respect for the person who actually dethroned her. She says, and I quote, "All love you, Roxy. You're amazing." End quote. Mandy Rose was released from WWE right after losing the NXT Women's title. She was fired for posting exclusive content on her OnlyFans page that was seemingly against the moral code of the company. Her release has not been appreciated by a major section of fans, so we have to see if WWE decides to bring her back. The Undertaker finally reveals when WWE decided to end his WrestleMania streak. Undertaker and Kane recounted the match in a documentary titled The Brothers of Destruction, which looked back on their relationship. During the conversation, Kane questioned on his on-screen brother's thoughts on the match. It says here, and I quote, "I have to ask you this. We get ahead to WrestleMania with you versus Brock. And my reaction when I was watching that, I thought the finish got messed up. I was like, they're going to restart the match or something. Something got screwed up, and they did. I walked out of the room. I was literally so mad about that. And I know that the streak is not something that anyone ever planned. And it kind of organically evolved. But it would become part of WrestleMania lore at that point." Then it goes on to say, people came to see The Undertaker. And they came to see all the stuff. And then in the end, they came to see you, 20-something and 0. It didn't have the same feel when it was 21-1. What were your thoughts on that? End quote. In response to Kane's comments, Well, Kane was actually the one that questioned that, really. Now, in response, The Undertaker stated that he was supposed to win the show on the morning of the show until Vince McMahon changed his mind. Typical Vince McMahon thing. He did that with other talents, other matches as well, when him and Bruce was in charge. It says here, and I quote, this was Undertaker's response. He said that I got to the arena that day and I was going over. We had gone back and forth. And when I showed up, I was going over. And through the course of the day, Vince came to me and said he changed his mind. And I was like, okay. And he goes on to say, I said, well, I don't think Brock needs it. But at the end of the day, it's your show. It's your call. If you're sure about it, that's what we'll do. And that's part of the business, obviously. That's what we do. I thought there would be somebody like Roman. I think Roman would have been fine. End quote. The Undertaker wrestled 5 more matches at WrestleMania before his shocking defeat. I agree with Undertaker. I think Roman Reigns would have been fine. He ended up winning 4 games and losing 1. In fact, the final match of his career came at WrestleMania 26 against AJ Styles. What do you guys think of this story? Sound off in the live chats on the screen, please. There's some more Rumble news we got to go over here. Mountain Dew advertisement spoils top WWE Royal Rumble. WWE's new management has completely changed the landscape of the company with its innovative and creative strategies. One of them has been the introduction of new match types, and recently there has been yet another fresh bout advertised for the upcoming WWE Royal Rumble event in 2023 known as the Pitch Black Match. The Pitch Black Match has been discussed for a while, has reportedly been pitched for the Royal Rumble event. A close source of the company claims that the match will feature the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, in his first ever bout since making a return to WWE. A new Mountain Dew advertisement reveals details regarding the Pitch Black match at the Royal Rumble. The video shows a WWE arena going black before the text appearing when it's the Pitch Black match, later touting it as anything can happen. Footage also features a man walking with bright light emerging from behind, appearing to be Edge. The WWE regime has discussed doing a Hell in a Cell match for the Royal Rumble event, potentially between Demon Finn Balor and Edge. Apart from that, the company has also reportedly planned the return of a fan favorite persona, this looking to be an intriguing addition in the history of the Royal Rumble event. Are you guys excited to see the Pitch Black match at WrestleMania, or at the WWE Royal Rumble 2023? Sound off in the live chats. You didn't hear WrestleMania come out of my mouth. You didn't hear me say the whole word. Just pretend like you did. Now, I think this is the big topic of discussion here, the big news here. Spoilers. There's spoilers under today's current plan for the main event on both nights of WrestleMania 39. I'm guessing you guys know, because the plans that I'm about to tell you guys that WWE has are not good plans, and they creatively don't make sense at all whatsoever. WWE is marching towards the new year that starts with the onset of the road to the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. 2023's 2-night extravaganza will see some of the top WWE superstars compete under the bright lights of Hollywood. And there are some major spoilers for the main event for both nights. It was heavily indicated that WrestleMania 39 being in Hollywood will include the return of one of the biggest stars in the business, The Rock. The Great One is speculated to battle in the main event for the undisputed WWE Universal title against his cousin, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. However, a new report by Wrestling News states that the current plan would see the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes challenge Roman Reigns, which in turn would see Rollins and Drew McIntyre as part of the main event for the other night. No. That should not be in their plans right now. We don't need to see Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. We don't need to see Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. We certainly don't need to see Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Either way, it appears that Cody Rhodes will be a big factor in the company's plan. WWE is trying to get The Rock finalized to compete at WrestleMania 39 before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in January 2023, as the Rumble night officially kicks off the road to WrestleMania every year. So guys, this is what Wrestling News had to say about it. They said, and I quote, Night 1, WWE Championship, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes. Night 2, Roman Reigns versus The Rock or Cody Rhodes if The Rock does not make it to WrestleMania. I don't want to see Seth Rollins versus Drew. I really don't. That would be such a disappointment. That would be a very, very huge disappointment. Seth Rollins cannot afford to lose again. Do you guys know how many times we've seen Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes? We've seen that match 3 times. Seth Rollins lost 3 times to Cody Rhodes, not to mention. Legitimately, Seth Rollins lost to Cody Rhodes 3 times. Why would you want to book Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes another 4th time and then have Seth Rollins lose again? No. No, that's not the way to go. WWE needs to cut the shit, but they don't need to be doing that. Night 1 should be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Night 2 should be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for either both titles or for the WWE Championship. That should be the plan. That should be the plan. I don't care what anybody says. That should be the plan. If that's not the plan, we're going to have a major issue. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that said this. I'm pretty sure there are some podcasters out there that said this yesterday. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone on this. And I'm pretty sure a lot of YouTube content creators, a lot of wrestling fans, and a lot of podcasters like JD, I'm pretty sure would appreciate me mentioning this. Hey, I'm all about speaking truth, man. I'm not all about, I'm not all about giving negative shit and lying and stuff. But the plan should be Roman Reigns versus The Rock for Night 1 for the main event of WrestleMania 39, Night 1. Night 2 should be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for either the undisputed WWE Universal Championship or for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania 39, Night 2. That should be the plan. Those should be the plans. Nothing more, nothing less. Enough said. Now, my sources at Ringside News reported months ago that The Rock is a virtual lock. Then they followed up with another report to confirm that nothing has been finalized because WWE's creative team is pitching alternatives to The Rock. Remember that video last month that I showed you guys of The Rock and his 2 daughters watching his wife sing in the SoFi Stadium? The Rock holding his daughters, watching his wife sing in the SoFi Stadium is a sign that The Rock will be there. I think The Rock is just keeping all this secret. I think he's keeping this as a surprise for the fans. He wants to surprise the fans in the best way possible. With The Rock being an actor, he does acting just like John Cena, But WrestleMania 39 will take place at the SoFi Stadium on Saturday, April the 1st. The Rock and his daughters were there to watch his wife sing. That's a sign that he's going to be there. The Rock is going to be there. He's going to be there. You guys should go to that video of The Rock and his daughter watching his wife sing and sing the American anthem in the SoFi Stadium. If that's not a sign to you that The Rock will be there, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. Really. I think you really need to go to The Rock's Instagram account and see that video for yourself. And then you'll see what I mean. And then you'll realize that I'm right. Because people may not believe me when I say this. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you that The Rock is going to be there, guys. So WrestleMania 39 will take place at the SoFi Stadium on Saturday, April 1st. That's night 1. Sunday, April 2nd is night 2. Do you guys think The Rock will make it to WrestleMania 39? My answer is going to be yes. My answer is never going to be no. He can make it there. He's going to be there. He just wants to keep it secret until he's there. He wants to surprise the fans. That's why he doesn't want to answer that question. When he pops up, the fans will see him and they'll be like, oh, there he is. The Rock is here. He's there. So he did confirm that he's going to be there after all. He just didn't want to publicly say it. He wanted to keep it secret. You know, shit like that. Now, speaking of Roman Reigns, WWE reportedly planning big change for Roman Reigns as champion. Roman Reigns has been on a warpath since his return to WWE back in 2020. The Tribal Chief is still the undisputed Universal Champion even now. Fans have been wondering whether he will end up dropping the titles or not. Judging by WWE's recent plans, it seems the company will be splitting up Roman Reigns' titles by WrestleMania 39. The head of the table has been a champion for well over 2 years now, and his other dominance continues to impress fans in a huge way. Fans also want Roman Reigns to finally have some credible opponents back to back. But that has not happened for a long time because the Tribal Chief works a part-time schedule as double champion. And I'm predicting that Roman Reigns will sign a full-time deal with WWE going into next year. There's no way Roman Reigns is going to Hollywood. Come on. Why do we got these simps online saying that Roman Reigns is going to Hollywood? No, he's not. Get it out of your heads. He's not going to Hollywood. No. Roman Reigns, I think Roman Reigns needs to stick around WWE because I think Triple H and his administration are going to need Roman Reigns more than ever. According to a report by Wrestling News, if The Rock cannot make the show, Cody Rhodes will challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Ringside News reported weeks ago that WWE Creative is pitching alternatives to if The Rock can't make WrestleMania. It was added that WWE wants to get The Rock commented before the Royal Rumble, which will get things started for the road for WrestleMania. The WWE Championship match for WrestleMania 39's first night will likely see Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre fight for the title. I hope to God not. I hope to God that's not the plan. We don't need Seth Rollins losing again. No. I don't want to see Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. We've seen them go at it before. No. I don't want to see them go at it again. Since WWE is planning for each of Roman Reigns' titles to be defended during WrestleMania 39, and he is only booked for one match, that tells us that his status as double champion will change. WWE already knows how Roman Reigns will lose his titles. So we will likely see all this unfold before WrestleMania 39. I have to wait and see how WWE will book Roman Reigns in the coming months. I hope they book him well and don't book him all god-awful and shit. What's y'all's take on this story about Roman Reigns? WWE confirmed special match for the 2023 Royal Rumble event. obviously, WWE recently posted a video on Twitter confirming a new type of match set to take place at the 2023 Royal Rumble event. Hint, hint, I just mentioned it earlier. I went over it earlier. The Pitch Black match. The footage states that the match will be presented by Mountain Dew. It shows a man in the shadows with bright light emerging from behind as the text when it's the Pitch Black match appears, further taunting into anything can happen on the screen. I just went over that earlier, guys. I'll remind you guys again, just in case you forgot, the WWE Royal Rumble 2023 pay-per-view is set to take place in San Antonio, Texas. That is Shawn Michaels' hometown. You know Shawn Michaels is going to be there, and he's probably going to pitch his ticket to the Royal Rumble. Who knows? He might even do it. Now, MADUSA. I said we haven't seen news in a while, years. There's some news on her. So MADUSA, she called the wrestling business Harvey Weinstein. You guys are about to find out why. It says here that MADUSA was one of the top stars in the 80s and 90s. During her tenure with the WWE, she held the WWF Championship 3 times. However, she is most known for her WWE debut, where she showed up on Nitro and threw her WWE, or should I say WWF, women's title in the trash on TV. Almost 30 years, MADUSA is still making headlines for her controversial statements regarding the wrestling business while promoting her upcoming book, The Woman Who Would Be King, The MADUSA Story. MADUSA discussed the dark side of the wrestling business and even called it Harvey Weinstein-ish. She says here, and I quote, well, you know, not that some of the people don't need to be brought back in the forefront because this business was very Harvey Weinstein-ish. Let's put it that way. And they have watched these people get what they deserve in other ways. Then she goes on to say, so I think that people that want to throw people under the bus in a book for 5 seconds of pleasure, what, 30 years later, is very hurtful when they have kids and families who are innocent to the state. Now I said Harvey Weinstein-ish, you know, that bastard probably got what he had coming, right? Says MADUSA, and then she continues to say, there was a lot of guys like that in this business, trust me, guys that you know, and it's just a matter of time. You know what I mean. I will take probably a lot of it to my grave because it's just no one's business at this point. I explain a lot in my book in some form. You guys, a lot of people, they'll understand. End quote. MADUSA continued to say that the business evolved with, and so did the dark side of the business, with new terms being created so that it wasn't so obvious. She also stated that this nature of the business is going to continue. She continued to say, I guess they found with times, communications change and words change. And I think they found more eloquent ways to communicate it. She goes on to say, so it wasn't so obvious. She questioned that. And then she says, so back in the day, it used to be all casting couch bullshit, right? You know, the old words and what now? Or should I say what not? I think people are very careful nowadays. It's always going to happen. It's just always going to happen. It's always going to be there somewhere, somehow. No matter how many is you have sitting around, or phones, whatnot, it's just crap's gonna happen. Did I see a big change? Of course. I saw an evolution or programming to get better. Absolutely. and it's not a better now than it was, I will say. And then Medusa goes on to say in this long last paragraph that when you have guys shitting in a woman's food, you have guys shitting on a woman's food and watching her eat it. It is disgusting. I think in other words, she was trying to say it was very disgusting, very disgraceful, very nasty, and very disrespectful is what she was trying to say. And let me tell you, this is what I'm saying. These men who did stuff like this are people's idols now, are people's idols today. It's kind of like when I say Harvey Winston-ish, people would be shocked because of everything that Harvey did for everybody and all the stars he hung around with and all the big names. It'd be shocking like that in wrestling. It would really disappoint a lot of you, end quote. All that's from Medusa. That's what all she said. Medusa's upcoming book is expected to hit shelves in March of 2023. So that's basically in 2 months, right? Am I right? Now, if this interview is any indication, well, then fans can expect her to make headlines even more once the book is released. Ringside News will keep me up to date on this story. And if I have more, I will give it to you guys. WWE extended tryout offer for college football. Standout. WWE is always on the lookout for new stars and future main eventers. The sports and entertainment juggernaut recently held a tryout at the IMG Academy where the New Day's Big E gave a passionate speech. Charles have reported about WWE's contract offer to a college football standout from behind Fightful's paywall. According to the report, WWE offered a tryout to Cash Daniel while he was still in school. It says here, and I quote, "You may remember that University of Kentucky alumni linebacker Cash Daniel was often making pro wrestling references and struck a friendship up with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows while he was still in school. Fightful learned that Daniel was offered a WWE tryout by Canyon Simmons in the previous WWE regime, but did not end up taking them up on it, at least as of yet. Those that we speak to within WWE at the time believed that he still had aspirations of playing professional football, specifically in the NFL. That seems beyond a long shot now. 24-year-old stands 6'1" and weighs, he's basically 6'1". In other words, guys, it weighs at 221 pounds as measured by the university, but went undrafted in 2020 and has not been signed. Then he goes on to say that WWE's side of things had told us that believe that he wants to exhaust his options with football and aren't sure if the tryout offer would stand with the new regime, but noted that Gallows and Anderson being in WWE now would help him if he chose to go that route. Cash Daniel ended up working some dates for Valley Wrestling. In other words, Cash Daniel ended up working some dates for Ohio Valley Wrestling, part owned by Kentucky Sports Radio's Matt Jones, who has long covered Kentucky sports. Daniel hosts the fully unscripted podcast now, end quote. WWE recently offered a developmental deal to Melanie, who attended the 2-day tryout at the IMG Academy. Melanie Brzezinski is a bodybuilder. She attended the University of Tampa. What's y'all's take on this story? We got some Madison Square Garden news that we got to go over. I'm going to start with the Madison Square Garden news on Santos Escobar. So, Santos Escobar was seemingly injured at the WWE Madison Square Garden house show. Escobar ran through opponents with the rest of Legado del Fantasma by his side in Triple H's version of NXT before his SmackDown debut. Well, last night, let's just say Escobar wrestled in a fatal 5-way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Santos Escobar squared off against Kofi Kingston, Madcap Moss, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Gunther for his Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match at the WWE post-Christmas holiday tour in Madison Square Garden. Just in case you all get confused, Santos Escobar is not the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion, not Santos Escobar. Kofi Kingston avoided a scary botch at one point during the match as well. Kingston, however, landed hard on Escobar's knee after hitting him with a double stomp from the top of the ladder. The Legado del Fantasma leader needed assistance to walk after the match. It appears that Kingston's landing did some damage to Escobar. Hopefully it's nothing serious. What's y'all's take on this story? Liv Morgan destroys tables with table with kendo stick at WWE Madison Square Garden house show. Liv Morgan worked hard to become one of the most popular stars on the WWE roster. The former SmackDown Women's champion took on a fellow Blue Brand star at the WWE Madison Square Garden house show last night. Morgan squared off against Shayna Baszler in singles competition during the WWE post-Christmas holiday tour in Madison Square Garden. The match involved a table spot as well. Morgan defeated Baszler after hitting her with a leg drop from the top rope through the table. The wooden object didn't break upon impact, and Morgan decided to take out her frustration on the table after the match. The 2022 Women's Money in the Bank winner destroyed the table with a kendo stick after the match. Morgan then celebrated her win with the crowd by getting on the turnbuckle. Cody Rhodes intends to pick up where he left off after injury return, which I don't believe that. I think he's coming back. I think he's coming back at the Royal Rumble. I don't think he's coming back on Monday Night Raw next year. I think he's coming back at the 2023 Royal Rumble. I think I'll pitch his ticket to the Royal for his return. Cody Rhodes was rolling with momentum before a nasty injury put him on the shelf. The American Nightmare went out with a career-defining performance against Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. Cody Rhodes appeared during the absolute best of 2022 episode of Raw. Last night, the former Intercontinental Champion talked about his triumphant return to WWE at WrestleMania 38. And speaking of absolute best of 2022, guys, there was no Monday Night Raw. WWE did not air Monday Night Raw last night because they decided to give the production crew time off for the holidays. And that's why we didn't get any Monday Night Raw shows last night. That's why Monday Night Raw did not air. And that explains why I didn't go live for my Monday Night Raw review. Carlos discussed his New Year's resolution as well, noting he intends to pick up where he left off after this match. his much anticipated comeback from injury. Cody hinted going after WWE's top title. The American Nightmare is suspected to reignite his rivalry with Seth Rollins after his return from injury, says Ringside News. That's not going to happen because Seth Rollins is a babyface. How can you have Cody Rhodes feud with Seth Rollins when WWE damn well knows that both Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are babyfaces? Seth Rollins is doing a hell of a good job as a babyface. This is not a good time to turn him heel right now. This is not a damn good time to turn him heel. It's best if they have Cody Rhodes return by pitching his ticket to the Royal Rumble and then have him come out and win the Royal Rumble. And have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes booked for WrestleMania 39 Night 2 for either the Undisputed Universal Championship or for the WWE Championship. Or for the Universal Championship, for that matter, because the Universal Championship belongs to SmackDown. So I could see the Universal Championship being on the line. I can't see both titles being on the line. I just can't. Now, Cody Rhodes has 3 consecutive victories over the Monday Night Messiah. Cody Rhodes hinted at making his return during the Royal Rumble match next year. It remains to be seen if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins will revisit their rivalry next year. Heck, their rivalry is going to continue in the Royal Rumble. They're going to have a little rivalry in the Royal Rumble, then it's going to end. It's not going to happen on Monday Night Raw. No. It's not happening. I think Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes is going to work together in the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins is not turning heel. It's too early, man. He is just now continuing his babyface run. It's too early to turn Seth Rollins babyface. I'm sorry. I think WWE is jumping the gun a little bit too much. Yeah, I think Ringside News might be jumping the gun a little bit too much as well. And so many other sources and outlets and journalists out there. Where's y'all's take on this story? Johnny Gargano pulls double duty at WWE live event. Johnny Gargano made his surprise return to WWE under the Triple H regime. The Rebel Heart ignited a rivalry with The Miz. Gargano teased a feud with Austin Theory as well. Gargano worked double duty at a WWE house show this week. Gargano squared off against Baron Corbin. Oh, great. Happy Corbin, more like Happy Garbage. But you know what? I can't call him Happy Garbage for his opinions takes. Baron Corbin praised Triple H for his creative. And I got to give Baron Corbin the absolute best credit for that. I absolutely agree with what Corbin said. We're going to go over that news on Triple H in a bit, where Baron Corbin expressed his praise and his positivity to Triple H and his creative and how good he's doing in WWE, in charge. Gargano squared off against Baron Corbin at the WWE live event in Columbus last night. He took on Austin Theory, Damian Priest in the show's main event as well. That Rollins was originally booked to work the Columbus house show main event. Unfortunately, travel issues prevented the Monday Night Messiah from taking on his arch rival on the show. And I do have some news on why Seth Rollins missed WWE house show. We're going to go over that immediately after. Now, they added Damian Priest to the mix and made it the main event a triple threat match inside a steel cage for Austin Theory's United States Championship. Theory ended up retaining his title. What is y'all's take on this story? There's some news on why Seth Rollins missed the WWE house show. The visionary took to Twitter to reply to a fan post. Rollins confirmed he missed the house show at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio due to travel issues. I just literally just said that not too long ago. And here I am giving it out again to people who don't understand. It says here, and I quote, "It did, and I'm very sorry we tried. But by the time it broke down on the side of the road, we had no other recourse. And quote, WWE replaced Seth Rollins with Johnny Gargano in the main event. No, he was replaced with Damian Priest. See, Ringside News got it wrong. They said that WWE replaced Rollins with Johnny Gargano in the main event, but they just said on their other article that WWE replaced Rollins with Damian Priest. Sounds to me like that freaking decision confused Ringside News. I could see through it easily. Rollins was obviously replaced with Johnny Gargano in the main event. Now, why would they say, hold on. Why would Ringside News say Rollins was replaced with Damian Priest, and now only to do another article and say Rollins was replaced with Johnny Gargano? Why didn't they just say that the first time? Why didn't they just do only one article about that? I mean, we all make mistakes, but come on, man. You got to make sure you're doing your articles right, man. The Rebel Heart pulled double duty at the house show. Gargano took on Theory and Damian Priest inside a steel cage. Santos Escobar is said to be doing okay after scary bump at WWE Madison Square Garden event. Now, Escobar suffered a scary bump after Kofi Kingston landed hard on Escobar's knee after hitting him with a double stomp from the top of the ladder. I just went over this, guys. I'm going over this again. Escobar needed help to walk after the match. Naturally, fans were very worried about his well-being, and whether Escobar suffered any sort of injury. According to PW Insider, Santos Escobar is doing okay after taking that hard bump. Says here, and I quote from PW Insider: "For the many of you who have asked, we are told that they were told that WWE Santos Escobar is okay after taking a hard bump during the Intercontinental Championship ladder match at Madison Square Garden. As they noted, as PW Insider noted in their live report, WWE Medical checked on him immediately, and he walked out under his own power, with Jamie Noble assisting after the match." End quote. We are glad that Santos Escobar did not suffer any serious injury from that scary spot, since Ringside News. I'm too. Now it remains to be seen what the company has planned for the Legado del Fantasma member next. That injury could have been serious. He could have been out for 6 to 8 weeks. Or he could have been out for months. Now, WWE live event was a logistical mess, says Ringside News. According to Sean Rossap behind Fightful's paywall, on December 26th, WWE held live events in place of television, but none of them turned out to be logistical nightmare. Many WWE stars didn't attend the live event in Columbus, Ohio, and those who showed up did so after it had already started. Several wrestlers had to hustle to even attend the event, including Alexa Bliss, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch. Additionally, the United States Championship matchup between Seth Rollins and Austin Theory was scheduled to take place at the WWE Columbus live event. Sadly, Rollins was unable to attend the show. Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano were both. Oh, okay. Now Ringside News are saying they were both brought in to replace Rollins and Austin Theory in the main event. It seems like it's almost like they don't even know. It's almost like they didn't know. It's almost like they were confused. As I was saying. As I stated on here. Says, and I quote, they ran live events on December 26th instead of television. One of them ended up being a logistical mess. Several WWE talent missed the Columbus live event. even more, showing up late. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Alexa Bliss all missed the event, and several more had to rush to even make the show. Rollins was set to main event against Theory, but was replaced by Dan Priest and Johnny Gargano. Unquote. Seth Rollins acknowledged that he had to cancel his trip in order to make the home concert at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. It should be noted, says Ringside News, to give the production team extra time off. I just said that. But I said production crew. Crew and team sounds the same to me. WWE decided against running a live televised Raw. The Columbus, Ohio show would have been the affected WWE event if it had been shown on television. Now, Triple H doesn't want to waste people with his WWE booking. At least that's what he says. Now, from following Vince McMahon's retirement from WWE due to a hush money scandal, Triple H took over as the head of the company's creative direction. As you guys, I'm sure you guys already know that. Fans believe that Raw and SmackDown have improved after Triple H took over from his father-in-law as well. Indeed, it has. I've watched Raw and SmackDown, and I can tell you right now, it has improved a whole lot, and that's very, very good. A current WWE talent recently weighed in on Triple H's approach to creative decision making. Baron Corbin, I mentioned Baron Corbin praising Triple H. I just said it not too long ago. Baron Corbin praised Triple H and has some positive comments to say about Triple H and his changes he made at WWE and the way he does things. Baron Corbin highlighted the changes under Triple H's leadership on the Johnny Dore Morning Show. He stated that Triple H does not simply waste people. He also remarked how the show has gained new life and energy. The show has gotten new energy, new life. And for me being on Monday nights, it says, and I quote from Baron Corbin, I'm still adjusting and being on the new schedule, getting into the roster and digging into who we can work with and who we want to beat up and who has the most punchable face besides me. It's fun, it's nice, we're not rushing anything. That's one thing I love about Triple H. He's a firm believer and it's a marathon, not a race. He likes to slow play things, and he just doesn't. He doesn't just waste people. If you don't have something that is a big time play or a move on TV, he's like, then you don't need to be out there because it's not good to be out there. You want to have a purpose every time you go on television. It's still a lot of things for me to get used to, where he's like, hey, stay at home with your family this weekend, enjoy the weekend. He's a guy that really wants his talent and families to be happy. End quote. And then Baron Corbin compared Triple H's attitude to Vince McMahon's, noting that Vince McMahon's mentality is to do everything as quickly as possible. He also commended Vince, saying that he's fantastic. No, he's not. That I disagree with Baron Corbin. That's the one thing I disagree with Baron Corbin on. That he works out at 3 a.m. and that he's a machine who wants everyone else to be a machine. This man is the same as well. His mentality is go, go, go. That's how he is. He's incredible. He works out at 3 a.m. He's a machine and expects everyone else around him to be a machine. But yet, he's a fucking sexist. He's a sex machine. He's a fucking sexist, man. The fuck is he doing paying hush money to young women? a 77-year-old senile, old, dementia-focused Vince McMahon. I hope he runs in jail, man, for what he's doing. It's uncalled for. It's not right. It's disgusting. It's sick to my stomach. It is absolutely sick to my stomach to even say this. Baron Corbin concluded by analyzing the positive influence of Triple H's approach, adding that everyone in WWE is capable of doing so. But it's always good to take a step back. He claimed that, well, in life it is. He claimed that he had recently returned from a 7-day cruise on a boat. Folks, in life, it's good to take a step back, seriously. Especially when you got bad things going on around the world. Such an evil world we're living in right now. It really is. Everywhere you go, it's crazy stuff happening. It says here, and I quote, everybody in WWE is capable of that, but it is nice to step back. I just took a cruise and was on a boat for 7 days, end quote. Baron Corbin is currently on the WWE Raw brand. The former WWE United States Champion dropped the Happy Corbin character gimmick finally. Much to fans' delight, he was soon reborn as the modern-day wrestling god after aligning himself with JBL. Here, I thought he was going back to the Lone Wolf character. They desperately need to give him his Lone Wolf character back. What if I tell you his modern-day wrestling god gimmick is going to lead to his Lone Wolf gimmick? It's going to lead to him going back to being the Lone Wolf. His Lone Wolf gimmick was one of the best gimmicks in WWE. He had one of the best theme songs in WWE. You can love him or hate him. Baron Corbin's opinion about Triple H stands out. What Baron Corbin said about Triple H is true. Triple H cares about men and women's wrestling, unlike Vince and Bruce, of course. You can love or hate Baron Corbin. He's right. Clearly telling the truth about Triple H. And I find it funny how he's telling the truth about Triple H, but not telling the truth about Vince McMahon. Cain Velasquez was held in protective custody while incarcerated. I got some, this is your last WWE Tuesday afternoon news of the afternoon. I got some news on Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez gained a lot of respect over his career, despite the fact that he was just indicted. Or should I say indicted? The former UFC heavyweight champion and professional wrestler was bailed out of jail last month after being detained since February the 28th on attempted murder allegations. The former UFC champion recently spoke about his future in the ring after his release. I was thinking Ringside News was going to say charges. I mean, that's how I usually say it. Cain Velasquez was released from detention after posting a $1 million bail. He was arrested on several counts, one of which involved shooting Harry Goulart, who is suspected of abusing Velasquez's then 4-year-old family member. Former UFC heavyweight champion was permitted to participate in professional wrestling, and he did it earlier this month for AAA in Arizona. Velasquez was required to wear a GPS monitor and pay for a police officer to go with him to Arizona as part of the bail terms. Recently, Cain was welcomed to K100 with Conan and Disco for their Christmas broadcasts. He expressed his gratitude to the MMA and wrestling communities for their assistance during this time in his life. It says here, and I quote, "Yeah, man, I did see the support I got from the wrestling and MMA communities. And I just want to thank everyone. I truly appreciate everyone's support in all of it. It means so much to me." And then Cain goes on to say, Cain Velasquez, he goes on to say, "It gave me a lot of strength when I was in there." So yeah, dude, I feel it. I just want to thank everybody forever for that. End quote. And then Cain Velasquez was questioned by Conan on whether he believed he would ever be released from prison, or if he believes he would serve his entire sentence. He acknowledged that at various stages, his thoughts wavered between the two sides, but he maintained his faith and outlook that all would turn out for the best. He says, my mind ran like both sides of it. Being positive, like getting out versus thinking he'd be serving time straight through. The bad side and the good side. It's a thing. We always have faith. You know, it doesn't matter what position we're in, where we're at. We always got to look for the best case scenario for us and just know that our lives are something much bigger. And it's gonna work out for the best, always. So that's what he said. So then, Cain Velasquez was held in protective custody while incarcerated. He called it low-key, and he was only allowed to be around a very small number of people. Cain said that the fact that he had so much alone time was both the best and worst aspect of it. He says that they had me in protective custody. It was very low-key. Only a few people that I was able to kind of hang out with. And I guess the good thing about it is you got a lot of alone time with yourself. And the bad thing about it was you got a lot of alone time with yourself. Moving forward, Cain Velasquez admitted that he places a lot of pressure on himself to perform well when he returns to the ring at AAA's Tempe, Arizona show. Velasquez said that throughout his 8 months in jail, he had a poor way of thinking. He goes on to say in his last paragraph, and I quote, "It was crazy, man. Probably the worst I've ever felt physically, mentally doing something. I feel like there was such a standout. My body and my mind for 8 months, just a low way of thinking versus when you're out there competing. It's a different way of thinking. How's your brain and your mind have to be firing so? I feel like I was probably in the worst case scenario for myself that I've ever been in. And I feel like I always do this. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I just want to be ready when I go out there and, compete. When I did. Went out there, did it, dude. It was." End quote. In terms of his future in wrestling, Cain Velasquez intends to take every possible step. When Daniel Cormier, another former heavyweight champion of the UFC, paid him a visit, they talked about Cormier doing something with AAA. Jumping in, Conan said he would really enjoy it while he was unstable. Or should I say unable? I wouldn't say unstable. Don't be mentally unstable like me and not be able to attend a freaking trial. I mean, seriously. Don't. But seriously, on a serious note, guys, it says here that while he was unable to give further details, he stated that AAA, that was the wrestling promotion name, intended to expand its activities in the United States, and that they were now negotiating a deal to appear on American television. Cain Velasquez was overcome by the support of his fans during his first professional wrestling encounter following his release from prison. He described being there as being in one of his dreams. That's going to do it for your WWE Tuesday afternoon news. Now it is time for me to go over your WWE or AEW. It's time for me to go over your AEW Tuesday afternoon news. We just went over your WWE Tuesday afternoon news. It's time for your AEW Tuesday afternoon news now. We got a lot of AEW Tuesday afternoon news on Tony Khan that we have to discuss, go over, and talk about. And we're going to start off with Tony Khan confirming the AEW Dynamite are not limited to production. We're going to start with the news on that. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me some time to find it, guys. I thought it was just on here not too long ago. Hold on. My voice sounds so bad, man. I don't know what happened. I sound like a fucking ghost. I really do. No shit. I really do sound like a ghost, man. Now, Tony Khan confirms changes to AEW Dynamite are not limited to production. AEW recently hired Michael Mansberry. He was a former WWE executive. Was the vice president of global television production in World Wrestling Entertainment. Again, Michael Mansberry was the vice president of global television production in WWE. Since the news broke, fans started speculating that AEW may be making some changes to their production. Now, Tony Khan has also confirmed the rumors. Tony Khan recently appeared on Fightful's Rhapsody podcast, where he confirmed that AEW Dynamite will be undergoing some changes. Not from the production standpoint, he also confirmed that there will be a new look to the show, including a different set visual changes. Now, he says here, and I quote, "The wrestling is going to be the same great wrestlers and the same great fans, but it's in a new city, Seattle, and then look, change to the set and the presentation are going to be changes that we're going to keep. I'm really looking forward to the new look for the show. I find in wrestling when you overpromise, you can disappoint people. If they set in a presentation, at the end of the day, most important thing is what the people bring. It's what the fans bring. At the end of the day, again, the most important thing is what the fans bring. What the wrestlers and the staff of AEW and the crew bring every week." And Tony Khan goes on to say that, but the look of the show is important too, and it's going to really look cool, said Tony Khan, end quote. The AEW Dynamite is long overdue for some visual changes. That is for darn sure. They need a few visual changes, I know that. And it will be interesting to see how the show's production quality improves next year. What is y'all's take on this story? There's more news on Tony Khan. Tony Khan says it's impossible to keep everyone in AEW roster happy. Oh, so you mean to tell me it's possible to keep Miro and Andrade off TV, right? What the fuck is Adam Cole? Why is Brian Cage not being used? Why is Lynch Archer not getting a push in AEW? Where are these guys? You got 5 stars that are off of TV and not getting used. What's going on? If you can't keep everyone happy on the AEW roster, let me ask you this, Tony Khan. If you can't keep everyone happy on the AEW roster, then why do you bother to continue to sign more AEW talents? I don't understand that. You have to stop signing more AEW talents. The more AEW talents you sign, the less chance they'll have being there. It's already enough you have way too many titles in AEW. Too many factions. Tony Khan needs to do something about this. There's too many titles, too many factions on all shows. Way too many. Tony Khan was held as a savior when he first started AEW a couple of years ago. Yes, he was. However, that praise quickly turned into criticism about Tony Khan's style of booking, matching a massive AEW roster. I mean, I don't blame him. There's a lot of criticism mounting on Tony Khan as of late. The AEW boss has revealed how he deals with it. Tony Khan needs good writers and producers that can write and produce shows. That's what Tony Khan needs. He needs more writers and producers. He's got Jeff Jarrett up there. He's got Mansberry. He needs more writers. He needs more writers and producers, man. Because I don't think Mansberry and Jeff Jarrett is going to be enough. I really don't. That's just me. Tony Khan recently did an interview with Fightful Select where he addressed fans' criticism towards his management of the roster. During the interview, he mentioned that he takes criticism with a smile. It says here, and I quote from Tony Khan, Tony says you're never going to be able to keep every single person on the roster happy. Says a series of circumstances lead to people not being on TV or not being featured. And he takes the criticism with a smile for Fightful Select. End quote. During the same interview, Tony Khan confirmed that AEW will be undergoing changes to its virtual style next year. It will be interesting to see how these changes will help enhance the product. What's y'all's take on the story? AEW promises, or should I say Tony Khan promises AEW will not have the same fate as WCW. Well, we'll see about that. I mean, I don't know if anybody in the wrestling community can believe you or not, my good sir. Tony Khan recently chatted with Rhapsody for a recent interview that aired live on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. The host has mentioned how the notorious finger poke of doom involving Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash on the January 4th, 1999 episode of WCW Monday Nitro. And a question was asked whether it will be celebrated on January the 4th this year. If you guys remember, as a result of Hogan's chest poke, Nash threw himself to the mat, allowing Hogan to pin him and win the WCW World Heavyweight title. Something that old folks from the Attitude Era from back in the day can remember. The angle also served to rekindle the NWO Hollywood and NWO Wolfpack factions. I was going to say reconcile, but oh well. On the January the 4th Dynamite from Seattle, Khan reportedly refused to confirm that he would not perform a finger poke of doom in AEW. But this was supposedly only a joke. Given that both AEW and WCW broadcast on TBS, TNT, and that individuals like Sting, Tony, Siobhan, and others have worked for both organizations, Khan claimed that the two organizations frequently receive comparisons. However, Khan clarified that AEW and WCW are totally different businesses. They will also not share the same fate. Khan noted that since AEW is not owned by a media entity, their demise would not be a concern similar to that of WCW. Khan reaffirmed that he is not leaving. Surely fans of professional wrestling can rest easy after hearing his remarks. I don't think, not all of them is going to rest easy, man. There are some that still have a lot to say about Tony Khan and his booking, and his roster, and all these fucking titles and factions he's got, which I just said are way too many. What's y'all's take on the story? Now, Tony Khan stays silent about CM Punk's future in AEW. Tony Khan was asked by Rhapsody if Punk will make an AEW appearance in 2023. TK, however, refused to comment on the subject. Khan did acknowledge that there were intentions for Punk and FTR to perform as a trio over the summer. Punk's injury prevented that from happening. Khan also covered the subject of AEW Dynamite's upcoming improvements. It won't just be from a production perspective. The appearance set and presentation will also see a change. It was also mentioned that due to Punk's injuries, any of the cards for AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, had to be modified. CM Punk world champion twice while he was with the company. However, he was unable to effectively defend the title during either reign. Punk initially gave up the first title to Jon Moxley and had to leave a second time due to an injury. It will be crucial to keep an eye on AEW and their plans for CM Punk in the next few weeks. With his prolonged absence from the spotlight, fans can't help but think it's the end of the road for him. Maybe. Now, Tony Khan says he would love to have Paige Van Zandt back in AEW. Does it look like Paige Van Zandt wants to be back in AEW? No. I mean, they easily did not use her right on TV. I feel like she was never used at all up until her release. Now, the former UFC fighter debuted in AEW back in 2021, made it clear she is very good at the art of professional wrestling. She clearly got a reaction from fans, but her AEW career suddenly stopped after Double or Nothing. Fans been worried about AEW status after that. They was worried about her AEW status after that. While speaking on an interview with Will Washington of Rhapsody, Tony Khan confirmed that he would love to have Van Zandt back in AEW eventually. However, he added that her opponent would have to be the right one and not just any member of the roster. So I guess we'll have to wait and see when the blonde bombshell will make her return to AEW television. After all, fans were clearly impressed by what they saw, and they now believe she has the potential to be a solid pro wrestler. You guys miss Paige Van Zandt. I can't get my stuff right today, man. I think it's because of my voice. I'm losing my voice and shit. My head is not thinking straight. I haven't had nothing to eat yet besides cereal. I just feel kind of a little bit dazed. If you were like me, you guys would understand completely. Trust me. You would. So that is all the news on Tony Khan. We move on from that to the news on the Acclaim closing in on impressive milestone as AEW Tag Team Champions. The duo has been running strong as a cohesive unit, becoming extremely popular among the fans. We'll be closing in on an impressive milestone soon. The Acclaim has been the AEW Tag Team Champions for 94 days, just 6 days before reaching the 100-day mark. As you guys know, Anthony Bowens, Matt Casper signed a 5-year deal. They signed a 5-year contract, in other words, with AEW. In November of 2020, the duo rose to the top of the tag team division by dethroning Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland at AEW Grand Slam 2022 to win the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The duo has been running strong as cohesive unit, as I said. The Acclaim are among the 8 tag teams in AEW to win the tag team titles, being the 5th longest reigning champions in the company's history, behind the Lucha Bros, who were champions for 122 days. Do you guys think the Acclaim would become the longest reigning AEW World Tag Team Champions? Let me know. Now, AEW Battle of the Belts is set to air live. I have confirmation of that. AEW revealed the air date and venue of Battle of the Belts 5 during a previous episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite. Now, TNT update on the quarterly show, basically. TNT's schedule is listing AEW Battle of the Belts live as a live show instead of the usual recorded one. Television special will come to TNT live at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, January the 6th. I will be live for that, so don't worry. I'll have you guys covered on that. This will be the second Battle of the Belts to air live after AEW Rampage. The last edition of Battle of the Belts was a live show as well. Tony Khan booked 3 title defenses that night in Washington, D.C. The Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland, Oregon will host both Rampage and Battle of the Belts 5 next month. As of this run, AEW hasn't announced any matches for the television show yet. I will stay tuned to Ringside News as they'll bring me and the other young upcoming wrestling YouTube content creators the latest on AEW Battle of the Belts. If I get it, I'll let you guys know and keep you guys up to date. Now, Tay Mello is double booked during AEW Dynamite this week. This is your last AEW Tuesday afternoon news. So, Tay Mello has worked hard to become one of the mainstays of AEW Women's Division. The Brazilian left already made her way to AEW a couple years ago. A decision she most certainly does not regret. Mello is a hard worker, but even she has her work cut out for her. And she is not double booked on the same night. She's now double booked on the same night this week. She is set to compete at AAA Noche del Cabanos, whatever, as well as AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. Now, following AEW debut, Tay Mello improved her in-ring skills to a huge degree and even got a fan following in the process. Of course, that's all in the past now, as fans can't stand her anymore for some reason. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer revealed that Tay Mello is booked for a World Mixed Tag title match at the AAA event in Mexico, as well as AEW Dynamite in Longfield, Colorado. He says here, and I quote, "There's going to be a World Mixed Tag title match with Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello against Octagon Jr. and Lady Shani. Tay and Anna Jay are supposed to compete this week on Dynamite, so Tay's got to be in 2 places at the same time, which will be very difficult. They got Tay booked in Longfield, Colorado, and Mexico at the same damn time." End quote. Now, it says here from Ringside News that Tay Mello and Sammy Guevara continue to be the highlights of AEW television. I have to wait and see whether Mello will end up canceling her match at the AA event. In the meantime, now the card for AEW Dynamite New Year Smash for tomorrow night, which I'll be live for. I'll be live for my AEW Dynamite New Year Smash watch along for the New Year Smash show. Now the card for this episode will be Samoa Joe defending his AEW TNT Championship against Wardlow, the Elite versus Death Triangle in the Falls Count Anywhere, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus Top Flight. And I think Elite versus Death Triangle Falls Count Anywhere is the 7th and last match. Pretty sure they had match 6 last week, if I'm mistaken. Bobby Soho and Willow Nightingale versus Jay Mello and Anna Jay. Bryan Danielson versus Eat the Page. So that's the card for AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash. Do you guys like Jay Mello? You don't have to let me know that. It's just a question. Now, unless you want to. Especially if you're a Tay Mello fan. Folks, my voice is going away. It's not good. But this is going to do it for your WWE and AEW Tuesday afternoon news live stream number 4. It's going to do it for your WWE AEW Tuesday afternoon news. If you guys enjoyed the live streams, you guys enjoyed me giving you guys your WWE AEW Tuesday afternoon news, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I am on the road to 600 subscribers. I'm almost at 530. So, of course, make sure you go check out all the other content I have on the channel from last week. If you missed my Monday Night Raw review, AEW Dynamite SmackDown Rampage review, it's on the channel. It's there from last week. Go check those out. Get those a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Continue to show your overwhelming support from me and my YouTube channel. Your support is helping a long way. You guys just don't realize it. Some of you probably do, but I know most of you don't. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you all have a very safe Tuesday. And I will see each and every single one of you in the live chats for NXT tomorrow afternoon. And then right after NXT, I'm going to be streaming Legendary Warrior Battle G. And then I'll be live with the AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash watch along. I will see you guys tomorrow in the live chat for NXT. That's where I'll have your WWE NXT or WWE and AEW Wednesday afternoon news. So that's what I'm going to do after the NXT reviews. Go over your WWE AEW Wednesday afternoon news. It's not going to be much. It's only going to be a little bit. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one and stay safe always.